Hi there! My name is Gina and I'm the founder of 2 Days Off. And if you're here, you probably have already heard of 2 Days Off and follow us somewhere because you got linked to our cost per wear tags. So today I want to show you what these tags are all about, and then I also want to show you how I'm adding them to a few of my garments. I have a few over here that I'd like to start tracking my wears on a little bit more consciously, or specifically I want to just see that I'm wearing these enough. And so yeah, I'm gonna sew them on and show you how I'm gonna be tracking my wears from here on out. So first off, we came up with these cost per wear tags. This is a package of 12. They come in packages of 12. They're only $10. And essentially these tags have a few little labels on them. I don't know if you can see that there, and then on the back there are these little check marks where you can check off each time you wear your garments. So I'll show you a close-up of these as well because you may not be able to see anything. But essentially you get 12 of these in a pack. You can buy as many packs as you need based on the number of garments you actually want to track. And you can add one or multiple if you end up running out of boxes. But you can add one to each of your garments, and each time you wear them, you just add a little check mark, cross, whatever marking to indicate that you've worn it. And what I really love about these, and one thing that I thought would be really important when we were coming up with them, is that we put a date, the amount we paid for the garment, so like investment in this garment, whether you made it yourself and maybe you spent 20 hours making it, or you spent $40 on fabric for it, whatever that might be, that investment means to you. And then your target number of wears, so how often you want to wear, how many times you want to wear it before you retire it, or maybe it's like how many wears per year you'd like to get out of this item, just to remind yourself much later when it's in your wardrobe and you're kind of comparing to how much you actually wore it. So without further ado, I'll just show you how simple it is to sew this into your garment. And then I'll show you how I mark things off on my own, and that's about it. Pretty simple. So just to show you the garments that I actually want to add to, these haven't been washed prior, probably need a wash, but this is one of my 2 Days Off Miyoko jackets. I have both of my most loved ones here in black and natural linen. I also want to start tracking the wear of this puffer vest. It's an Eileen Fisher piece from the Renew collection, and I love it so much, but I actually don't find myself reaching for it that often, so I'm going to sew a tag in here. And this is a fully lined piece, so it's going to be a little trickier figuring out how I want to sew it on, but I think I might just attach my new label to this existing care label. And then the last piece is my beloved gingham cotton Haruka dress. I love this piece so much. It's one of our first garments that 2 Days Off came out with, so it doesn't have a tracker tag. That's something I should have mentioned. All of our new garments automatically come with tracker tags already in them, but the older garments obviously won't have them. So I think I'm going to just add it to where our care label is. And yeah, I haven't been wearing this quite as much this year. I'm not sure if it's just being indoors more and not having as many occasions, so I want to track more like next year how often I wear it when the season comes around. Alright, so these are the 4 I'm going to add today. I'll probably just show you one because it's going to be the same process probably for each of them, pretty straightforward. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so now we're a little more zoomed in. I have my Miyoko jacket here, and this is actually where the care tag is on that Miyoko jacket, our original care tag. And I want to sew my tracker on basically right beside it. I could layer it, but that's going to get to be a bit too much fabric to sew through, a little too thick. So essentially what we'll be doing is I like to sew it so this edge isn't, you could just like sew right across, but I like to sew so that this edge isn't showing. It just gives a neater finish. So basically I sew one straight line here, and then I sew over and another straight line there, and it secures it. You can still write on all of these blanks, and you can still see the whole tracker. So that's basically what I'll be doing in my sewing machine here. So hopefully this is a good angle. Okay, so you could just stop there if you're fine with that, but I'm going to just flip it over and do one more stitch right across here just to secure it, make it look a little neater. All right, and then all I have to do is trim up my threads so I don't have all these random threads laying around, and I'm done. It's on, and it's that simple. Okay, and just for good measure, show you another one. So, and you're always going to want to grab the selvage of the garment, like the seam where it's been sewn, and not sew past where you see the existing sewing line. So let's grab my tag. And again, so you'll notice I don't go past the sewing line there. So just pop it on my machine. And I'll go a little bit slower this time, lower my foot. And there you have it. Stitch. And you can trim up your threads now if you want. Keep it a little tidier. And then I'll flip it back over. I just like that clean edge, so. And there you have it. Clean up those threads as well. Totally not necessary to do this flip over step. I just personally like it. It's tough if you don't have a machine that will go through so many layers, so it's really not a big deal, but I personally enjoy that. And there you have it. So I'll just write down the day I start tracking, the investment amount, the target number of wears, and then just start tracking here. The last note for when you do start actually tracking, I like to use one of two pens. I like Sharpies very much, but the fine point ones do really, really well. They don't come off in the wash, they don't start bleeding. And so I like them because they're nice and dark, and that's actually what we use on all of our cotton labels for our garments. So here, I'll write this down. November 1st, 2021. The investment amount, the target number of wears. Honestly, I wear these a few times a week, so I think my goal would be probably about 150 wears a year. So I'm going to write that down. And then as I actually start wearing it, I can track by just putting an X through a box, or I can, and let me show you what it looks like with a ballpoint pen, just a regular old ballpoint pen. Or I can do just half of an X for each one, because we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 boxes. So if I just do half of an X mark, then I have 70 wears that I can track per tag. Or some people would like to, maybe once they go through all of the X's, so maybe this is one wear, this would be 2 wears, this would be 3 wears, and then say you get through 70 wears, you can start going in and like filling in a triangle for 71, 72, 73, 74, etc. So yeah, you can really make the most of this if you'd like. But yeah, I would just start with 1 hash mark. And so yeah, I'll bring this a little closer so it's easier to see. But you can see the difference between the Sharpie, it's a little thinner, and the ballpoint, but I mean, it does the same job. So yes, if you have any questions at all about these wear trackers, I'd even go over this a little bit, make it darker. Just let me know. Leave it in the comments or shoot us an email. Happy to answer questions. And yeah, I hope this is very, very helpful and useful, and I can't wait to see people actually out there using their trackers.